Ladies and gents, welcome back. The Canadian government is set to expel a Chinese diplomat implicated in the intimidation of a sitting member of parliament. They're doing this only 2 years after knowing about it. Information that they got from CSIS to the Prime Minister's office was not enough. It was only after this information leaked to the public and, well, public outcry brought this on them. Now, we have this story from True North. Canada expels Chinese diplomat implicated in intimidating MP Michael Chong. Canada has ordered the Chinese diplomat in Toronto to leave the country immediately after being implicated in a scheme to intimidate a Conservative MP and his family in Hong Kong. Again, this is 2 years after the Trudeau cabinet knew about this. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly, who is in the cabinet, who would have been privy to this for 2 years, said in a statement on Monday that Zhao Wei, who worked at the Chinese consulate in Toronto, has been officially declared persona non grata. They put out this statement on Twitter. Canada has declared persona non grata to Mr. Zhao Wei. Canada declares Zhao Wei persona non grata as of May 8th, 2023, Ottawa, Ontario, Global Affairs Canada. Honorable, you may say that at your own will. Melanie Joly, Minister of Foreign Affairs, today issued the following statement. Canada has decided to declare persona non grata to Mr. Zhao Wei. I've been clear we will not tolerate any form of foreign interference in our internal affairs. As long as the public knows about it, we won't tolerate it. Now, they tolerated it for 2 years until the public found out about this. Diplomats in Canada have been warned that if they engage in any of this type of behavior, or they will be sent home, as long as the public hears about it, of course. This decision has been taken after careful consideration of all factors at play, like the public appearance that this may play on the cabinet that has known about this for 2 years. We remain firm in our resolve that defending our democracy is the utmost important thing, of course, as long as people know about it. The announcement of Zhao's expulsion coincided with MPs voting in favor of a Conservative motion that urged the government to expel certain diplomats and large public inquiry into the allegations of foreign interference. Now, this, spoiler alert, the Liberals all voted against it. All of them. It passed the House. It passed with the support of the Conservative, the official opposition, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois in this case. But here we are. Additionally, Joly also warned that other diplomats could face similar consequences if found to be involved in foreign interference. And then my conjecture there would obviously, as you've heard many times throughout this video, as long as people knew about it publicly. Because again, they knew about this for 2 years and did absolutely nothing. I have been clear, we will not tolerate any kind of form of foreign interference in our international affairs, which was in the statement. Last week, the Globe and Mail reported that CSIS had evidence that China was planning to intimidate Conservative MP Michael Chong and his family. The federal government has since verified that report. Verification of that report, of course, that they held on for 2 years. Now here's Michael Chong himself bringing this up in the House of Parliament, asking, what? Why did they do nothing, and why have they been lying about it?
Mr. Speaker, I've just been informed by the National Security Advisor that the CSIS Intelligence Assessment of July 20th, 2021 was sent by CSIS to the relevant departments and to the National Security Advisor in the PCO. This report contained information that I and other MPs were being targeted by the PRC. This contradicts what the Prime Minister said yesterday. He said CSIS made the determination that it wasn't something that needed to be raised to a higher level because it wasn't a significant enough concern. Will the Prime Minister correct the record that this report and information was sent to the departments and to the Privy Council office?
Now, of course, the Prime Minister of Canada was not there in question period once again, so he had other people answering for him.
The Honourable Minister of Public Service. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleague for sharing that update with this chamber. I can also assure him that, as the Prime Minister said, and I said earlier this week, that we found out on Monday of this week, which is why we acted very quickly and decisively to reach out directly to the member for Wellington Halton Hills, make sure that he was offered a briefing, had that briefing happen, and we will continue to work with him to address and mitigate any concerns around foreign interference, because every member in this chamber deserves to be able to do their work in representing their constituencies in a manner that is safe and secure.
As long as we know that the public knows about it, of course, that's the whole idea here. As soon as the public knows about it, let's do something about it. But when it's sitting on your desk for 2 years, you do nothing. Why? Because it turns out that this kind of thing could be politically beneficial for the party if their opposition are being threatened by a foreign country. It turns out, as it's also turned out in other cases, they said it may have been beneficial for other MPs to get large donations and also have the support from the Chinese Communist Party. Now, here's the vote being brought to the resolution brought to the House of Parliament here, calling on the government to expel Beijing's operatives who intimidated Michael Chong's family and passed through without the support of the Trudeau Liberals.
Seconded by Mrs. Kuzi, moved that given the intimidation tactics of the People's Republic of China are being deployed against many Canadians of Chinese descent in diaspora communities across the country, which are widely reported and well established through the House of Commons committee testimony and reports by Canada's security establishment, including reports indicating that family of members of Parliament are subjected to an intimidation campaign orchestrated out of Beijing's consulate in Toronto. The House called on the government to stop delaying and immediately
A. Create a foreign agent registry similar to Australia and the United States of America.
B. Establish a national public inquiry on the matter of foreign election interference. C.
Close down the People's Republic of China-run police stations operating in Canada. And
expel all the People's Republic of China diplomats responsible for and involved in these affronts to Canadian democracy. The
10-minute period for members voting electronically has started. The House will now proceed to the vote for members participating in person.
Well, and as we showed you earlier, the Conservatives, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois all voted for this, and while the Liberals voted against. Now, the Liberals are touting and claiming that they've made this diplomat persona non grata. But again, this is against their own will. This is against their own vote. They voted against doing this. Now, this is something that affects a lot of people in Canada, and it doesn't just, it's not just they want a foreign registry for diplomats or whatnot in Canada. This is obviously something that is normal in other countries. It's astonishing that we don't even have a registry. You have to register to be a foreign diplomat in most other countries. Why not in Canada? And also the police forces, the Chinese police stations that are being, deployed on Canadian soil. Again, we've reported on this channel, still happening in Canada. And finally, an actual resolution to do something about it, because the Liberal Party, well, which is being implied by some of these articles, have benefited from the interference from the Chinese Communist Party in both our elections, our politics, and, well, just in everyday life here in Canada. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is, obviously something that affects a lot of people, our national sovereignty when it comes to Chinese interference in both, again, into our elections, into private citizens that are just trying to mind their own business, and then also intimidating sitting members of parliament and their families. Again, the Trudeau cabinet, knowing about this, getting the information from CSIS 2 years ago, doing nothing, and then finally only acting after the House has a vote, which they voted against and passed, well, not unanimously, apart from their regime unanimously. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.